Hey, welcome. You ever wonder what really separates a good school from a truly great one? Well, a lot of the time, the secret sauce is the leader at the top. But, what does great school leadership actually look like? Today, we're going to dive into this really cool concept that flips the script on the principal's role, turning them from a manager into a real mentor.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the two very different hats a principal has to wear. Then, we're going to introduce a whole new way to define the job, break down its key parts, see what it looks like day to day, and finally, get to why all of this really matters. Okay, let's get right into it. When you think school principal, what's the first image that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably someone dealing with discipline, juggling budgets, and just, making sure the lights stay on. But is that really the whole job? And this, right here, is the core of the problem. You've got the administrator on one side. This is all the stuff that has to get done. Budgets, paperwork, making sure the buses run on time. You can't run a school without it. But then on the other side, you have the pedagogical leader. This person is focused on the actual reason the school exists, making teaching better, helping students grow, and building a culture where everyone loves to learn. The huge risk is that the urgent administrative stuff can totally swallow up the way more important leadership work. So, how do we stop the important stuff from getting sidelined? Well, we need a better framework. And that brings us to this idea called pedagogical leadership. It's all about intentionally putting teaching and learning right back in the center of the principal's universe. So let's be super clear about what we mean here. This is a massive shift in priorities. It changes the job description from, say, running a building where learning happens to leading a learning community that happens to be in a building. You feel that difference? The focus is 100% on growing every single student by making the teaching itself better. I absolutely love this phrase, the head learner. It just completely changes how you think about the role, right? A pedagogical leader isn't some know-it-all boss sitting in an office. Nope. They're in the trenches with their teachers, always curious, always learning, and showing everybody that they're passionate about the craft of teaching. They lead by example, by learning right alongside their team. Okay, so this sounds amazing, but how do you actually pull it off? This isn't just some fluffy idea, it's a real blueprint for action. It's got a clear, practical framework you can actually use. And these four things work together like a system. It all starts with setting a clear direction, a North Star, so everyone knows the goal is top-notch teaching. From there, you build a culture of trust where teachers feel safe to try new things and work together. With that in place, you can really dig into leading the learning itself, getting your hands dirty with curriculum and instruction. And finally, you pour everything into developing your people, making their growth a huge priority. It's the whole package. So we've got the definition, we've got the framework, but what does this look like in the real world? Like, what would you actually see a pedagogical leader doing on a random Wednesday afternoon? Let's make it real. It's a totally fair question, isn't it? I mean, if they're not just buried under a mountain of paperwork, where are they? What are they actually spending their time on? Well, their day is visible, it's active, and it's all about the learning. You'll see them in classrooms, not with a clipboard and a checklist, but to give real helpful feedback that helps teachers get better. They might even jump in and teach part of a lesson to show a new strategy. They're the ones leading the meetings where teachers really dive into student work and data. They're like the head curator of great ideas for their staff. They are not managing from behind a desk. They are right there in the middle of where the magic happens. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But let's bring it all home and talk about the why. Why is this move from manager to mentor just so incredibly important? And this right here, this is everything. This is the whole point. Look, having a school that runs smoothly is great, but that's just the baseline. The real mission, the ultimate goal, is to create a place where every single student and every single teacher is always growing. Pedagogical leadership is the engine that makes that happen. So that leaves us with one last thing to think about. When you look at the leaders in your own community, or maybe your own kid's school, what do you see? Do you see a manager focused on just keeping the machine running? Or do you see a pedagogical leader obsessed with growing every single person inside that school? Because really, the answer to that question makes all the difference in the world.